Yeah, I mean, it's not a one-shot answer, I'll tell you that. Compensation definitely does play a part in why people leave initially. However, up to 52% of those people that leave end up wanting to look for another job shortly after that. So we know compensation plays a role in them leaving, but it's not the entire picture. Individual develop plans. So each person should have a plan on what their professional goals and objectives are, and their manager should be working with them directly. Because if you can show them the path and you show them the way to career advancement, well, now you're showing them the way to earning more compensation. With whether they leave your company, to go do that or not, you are showing them the way to earning more money. It's just what's happening is you're losing them for as little as 3%.
Yeah, if that sometimes.
You're talking about a quarter, 50 cents, a
Right.
dollar, right? It's a very small incremental amount where if you can show them like, look, if let's work on this together. If you do A, B, and C, and they say, hey Lee, I do want to do A, B, and C. Okay, well, let's do A, B, and C, and we'll give you that extra dollar because now that they're developing, they're adding more value to your company, which typically results in higher profits, higher revenue, or whatever that may look like. So money isn't it's not the only thing, but it is part of the thing. and,
Right.
and really, if I could really break it down or whittle it down to one thing, it's a lack of vision that companies have.
Yeah, that's a great point. And by the way, you just dropped like 20 bombs there.
I know,
And
I'm invoicing you for this later.
okay, make it cheap. I don't have much money. Uh,
You can create your own culture, micro culture, your own values. You create your own recognition plan and your own way of appreciation. You don't have to wait for the CEO to give you guidance.
yeah,
I'm going to tell you something that's really important. I really want everybody to listen to this one point that I'm going to make. No one trains you to be a CEO. You don't get trained. I didn't start my first day as a CEO and somebody like walked me through orientation. So we can't do it all. We don't know it all. So we're supposed to expect our team to help us out, to like fill the gaps, because the CEO cannot steer a ship of if you're saying you have 150 people under you. I don't know how many that is in the entire company, but I imagine it's too big for one person to steer the whole ship. Oh, like just going back to what you said, where because they're a really good operator, they get promoted to being a manager, and we know that at this point, we know that that doesn't necessarily translate. And
uh,
so what needs to happen is you shouldn't be promoting people until they're already doing the job. So little by little, this is why individual development plans are so important, because little
yeah,
by little you start training them up and upskilling them rather than throwing them in the position and expecting them to know how to manage people and all of these new tasks. I mean, leadership and management's a mindset shift. It's a completely different side of your brain.
right.
And if you don't prepare your employees to get there and how to use that side of their brain, then they're going to inevitably fail. They're going to become disengaged, they're going to fail, and guess what? They're going to go apply for other management positions now. And
It's one thing that you think great leaders or a few great leaders are doing that more leaders should be doing.
I think great leaders really love people.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not saying like love, like, oh, I don't want you to die, love. I mean like just like a real passion for people, and not just, it's not like a feeling, it's in the way they act toward these people, listening intently. You hear stories about these uber successful people, and
yeah,
a lot of the times if you look at patterns, if you look for patterns and behavior, it's like they made me feel like I was the only person in the room.
right.
They made me feel like nothing else mattered. So I think I think that's love for people,
Okay.
period. I think I think a lot of people kind of have this mentality that like they're different from everybody. Like, I'm different. Like, I'm exceptional. I'm better. Like, I'm going to do better. I'm blah 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 blah. Like, they basically have this philosophy that they're going to be different than everybody else, but I think the real, like, world changing leaders actually believe they're a part of everybody.
Right.
Like, they believe they're no different than anybody else, that they have a responsibility for everyone. So I think if I could dispel one thing, it would be to learn how to do that. To get out of your ego, understand that the person in front of you is a part of you, and treat them accordingly.